Ms. Rita Tucson, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign and Caribbean Affairs, His Worship Mayor Alderman Joel Martinez, Mayor of Port of Spain, Ms. Michelle M. Thomas, Acting Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Professor Salim Al-Zubaydi, President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Lawrence Innes, President of the JET Alumni Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening. Welcome to you all, particularly for the two former JET participants who just returned quite recently, Zainab and Paul. And this evening, I'll be very brief because, firstly, I think everybody knows what the JET program is all about. And more importantly, the actual participants of JET program will speak about their own experience and stories of their life in Japan soon. But I'd like to take this opportunity to say that JET program, in my opinion, is one of the most successful programs we have conducted for a long time. The JET program, Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, was launched in 1987, which means 33. This will be the 33rd year of the program. And since its creation, over 70,000 participants from 75 countries took the advantage of this program. Of course, that includes Trinidad and Tobago. For Trinidad and Tobago, the program started 15 years ago. And so far up to now, there are 165 participants in total number from the Trinidad and Tobago. And currently, as of July 1st this year, there are 61 participants living in Japan. That is a quite impressive number. Well, globally and in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago's participants. But more importantly, JET program will not stop there. Well, jet planes can fly a long mile, but after the landing at the destination, their mission is complete. But in the case of the JET program, it will not stop there. They are engaged in extracurricular activities, which usually in the form of the JET program Alumni Association, so-called JET-AA. And this group has 52 regional chapters located in 18 countries and regions. Of course, that includes Trinidad and Tobago. JET-AA Trinidad and Tobago was established 3 years ago. And since then, it has been very active in promoting exchange and Japanese culture in Trinidad and Tobago, which the embassy is greatly grateful for these contributions or support or cooperation from the JET-AA Trinidad and Tobago. So later I would like to recognize officially and personally its outstanding contributions of the JET-AA and TT to the enhancing relations between Japan and Trinidad and Tobago. But before I conclude my remarks, I'd like to quote the part of the JET declaration, which was announced by the JET participants 3 years ago when the JET program celebrated its 30th anniversary. I think Lawrence participated in that event with the current His Majesty the Emperor. At the time, he was the Crown Prince of Japan. So I quote the part of the declaration. It said that as more and more Japanese companies look to expand their reach globally and adopt an international approach, it is more important than ever that JETs do their best to prepare their students and colleagues for more cultural Japan, more multicultural Japan. We hope to continue working with the Japanese government to further improve the ability of current and former JETs to support Japan's efforts, thus strengthening the country's capacity to engage effectively with the rest of the world. Furthermore, as part of this effort, in viewing of the upcoming 2020 Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games and the 2019 Rugby World Cup, which is on the way now, and we're going to have a very important game tonight. We pledge to support the Japanese government in its pursuit to host and promote successful international events. Looking forward, we call upon current and future JETs to continue to be the ambassador for your home countries during your stay in Japan, foster a great awareness of ties that bind us all together regardless of where we live, to learn about and engage in the local Japanese city, town, or village you are placed in, and take advantage of all the opportunities to experience Japanese cuisine, culture, traditions, and the way of life that surround you. Finally, once you finish JET, we urge you to become an active member of the global alumni community, now well over 64,000 strong, without which the Japanese JET program itself cannot continue to exist. So that's what these two young former participants would do. So let's listen to their stories. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Now, I wish to invite Ms. Zainab Nakid and Mr. Paul Halden, both of whom are returning JETs, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And a special good evening and konbanwa to the returning JETs of 2019, members of the JET AA, the JET program coordinators, Hirayama Taishi-sama to Okusama. My name is Zainab Nakid, and I am a former 4th-year ALT of the JET program. I was placed in Aso City, Kumamoto Prefecture, on the southernmost part of Japan called Kyushu. I was an ALT, member of the AJET factor for Kyushu Block 11, Kumamoto Prefecture Area Leader, and Special Correspondence Ambassador for the Kumamoto Board of Tourism affiliated with the Kumamoto Prefectural Office. I spent 4 years in Japan on what was intended to be a 2-year plan to work and gain experience to further my career. During that time, I have gone through the rigors of training in karate, become a Kumamoto tea ceremony debutante, visited 32 prefectures in Japan, and been trained in the Japanese work culture. I place being trained in the Japanese work culture as a personal achievement because it differs so much from the work culture of this country. In Japan, they have systems designed to ensure the efficiency of the workplace, and everyone works together to ensure the functionality of the whole. In my case, it was my school. This further translated into outside life, where everyone within a community worked for the betterment of that community. This made me morally conscious of my surroundings. In the West, we are taught to think individually, which is fantastic for personal development, but we often do it to the detriment of our neighbors. Sometimes we need to be reminded of how to do both. Going to another country opened my eyes as to how people of another culture approach problems, how different the Japanese school system was, and how the people there tackled possible future issues by putting checks into place from early on. Everything was new to me: their architecture, their landscaping, their restaurants, and everything had a system, which is more methodized than what we have in Trinidad and Tobago, but was still interesting to see. This made me wonder that if every Trinbagonian had the chance to go to Japan or any other foreign country and take a step out of our own culture and really see the world from a different perspective, wouldn't it lead to the betterment of our country? This is why Trinidad and Tobago needs the JET program. The JET program gives us an opportunity not afforded to us by many other countries, a chance to go out into the world and interact with people from various backgrounds and cultures, everyone with a story and something to teach us. This can only lead to self-improvement. Gaining knowledge can only make you a better person, and becoming global can only make us closer as humanity. And so I hope to spread what I learned in Japan to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There are many values that we can benefit from as a nation, and it is always useful to gain global perspectives on society. To the other past members of the JET program, I hope that we can work together to ensure the promotion of the program and continue to support the JET AA in their continued venture to introduce people to the wonders of the JET program and living in Japan. To the ambassador and the members of the Japanese embassy, on behalf of all the returning JETs of 2019, we would like to thank you for your continued support and upholding of the JET program. Such an opportunity is not often afforded to a small country like ours. Most times we're skipped over for what is considered the better countries of the metropole. Thank you for seeing that we too have the talent, the skills, and the ability to make a contribution to your country. 今からは日本語です。私たち一人一人、素晴らしい経験をさせていただきました。そして私たちは日本で学んだことをトリニダード・トバゴを生かしてまいります。本当にありがとうございました。Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Konbanwa. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul Haddon, and I am such a fan of the JET program that I did it twice. So the first time around, back in 2011, I was placed in Osaka City, where I spent 3 amazing years, and more recently, I was in Oita, at the top of Kyushu Island for 1 year. Right, so it's a bit of an impossible task to condense 4 years of experience into a 3-minute speech, so don't worry, I'm not going to try to do that. Instead, I just want to offer you one word that, to me, sums up the most beautiful and important thing about the JET program. Just one word that represents the truly lasting impact that JET has had and continues to have on my life and on the lives of many of us in this room today. That word is friendship. So yes, JET is partly an initiative to help spread English education in Japan, but more so than that, it's a bit of a social experiment whose goal is to, and I quote, increase international exchange at the community level. So in other words, throw some people from totally different walks of life together, let them simmer, and hope that feelings of goodwill and friendship will arise. So it sounds simplistic, but I can honestly think of no greater aspiration for the 21st century when the various cultures of the world are coming together at a breakneck speed than a government initiative to cultivate global friendship. So in the past, throughout history, As we all know, such meetings of cultures don't always end well. But in the future, we all hope that such meetings will lead to the creation of new and exciting ideas and strong intercultural social bonds. So I know that each of the alumni here today have their own personal stories about their own interactions with the people of Japan, who they found in the communities that they were placed in. So just personally, to share a few of those experiences with you, for me, some of those precious memories include the memory of my wonderful piano teacher, Miyasako Sensei, who graciously took me into her fold of students, despite the fact that she had never had a foreign student before, and my slightly very shaky Japanese made her job very difficult. But I'll never forget the way that she made me feel welcome in her country, feel like part of her community, and she even had the kindness to let me come to her house every Sunday to practice on her own personal piano, because she knew I didn't have one in my apartment. So I will never forget her kindness and the many conversations we had where she would, serve me sweets and tea, treat me like her grandson, and have different chats. I will also never forget the kind lady and her husband who worked in my favorite restaurant in Oita, which was called Chickens. And it was a place where I was treated not just as a random customer, but eventually as a friend. It was a place where the waitress, Mariko-san was her name, would always take time to chat with me, filling me in on local gossip, asking me questions about the foods of the country that I came from and teaching me various Japanese expressions. And eventually, feeling comfortable enough to correct my Japanese mistakes, both me for my table manners, and to also remind me that I was getting older and it was high time for me to get married and settle down. And I see that, there's some pan players here tonight, and it reminded me, because back in Osaka, one of the most unforgettable memories was going over to the neighboring city of Kobe for the Steel Pan Festival, the Kobe Steel Pan Festival. And I went there with some other jets from Trinidad and other countries, and it was just the most amazing sight. Just all of these hundreds of Japanese pan players wearing t-shirts, saying things like rant and rave, and that kind of stuff. And playing not only soca, but also J-pop music and classical music in this massive venue. So that was a very special memory. And the fact that we, the Jets who were training, were there, and that we were from Trinidad, kind of gave us a way to connect with these Japanese pan players and start kind of sowing the seeds of friendship. So that was really nice. And the scope of JET is really international. And all of us who participate on the program end up making friends not just from Japan, but from all over the world. So I know personally that there are about 8 or 9 countries that if I ever find myself going there, I know I can pick up the phone and call a friend who I met in Japan. And I know a lot of alumni, it's the same situation. So thanks to JET, I now feel like more of a citizen of the planet, which is a good thing. And of course, there are the friends that I made right here in Trinidad. Thanks to our mutual love of Japanese culture and our shared experience of being Jets. So for this, I'm also very grateful. So of course, not everything was smooth sailing on the JET program. As we all know, picking yourself up and heading to the other side of the world, leaving all of your friends and family behind, is an extremely difficult thing to do. And I know it also creates difficulties for some of the teachers who we have to work with, as we're all kind of faced with the reality and the difficulties of cultural and linguistic barriers. But in my opinion, this is all just par for the course, because friends, after all, sometimes fight, and friends see things differently. But in the end, it's their bond of friendship that encourages them to lift each other up and to cultivate feelings of respect for one another, not despite their differences, but because of them. And to me, there's nothing more we can hope for in this upcoming global civilization. So like everyone else here, I'd like to thank the JET program for offering us this amazing and uniquely challenging opportunity to enter onto the global stage and play our part, no matter how small, in fostering good relationships with the people of Japan and beyond. So, 本当にありがとうございました. Thank you.
Minasan, konnichiwa. My name is Chelsea Murray, and I am a third-year JET in the big city of Tokyo. And I applied for the JET program, not just because I was interested in exploring Japanese culture, but also because I really wanted to push myself and develop my teaching skills, since I did not speak Japanese and I did not want to rely on the language of the country in order to teach, and also because I wanted to learn Japanese. And has truly been a rewarding experience for me, not just professionally, but also personally, because I have learned one thing that has remained true for me is that you do not need to be fluent in a language in order to have a connection with people. A smile, being kind, being open-minded really goes a long way. And this is both with my students and anybody else that I've encountered, all other Japanese people that I've met, and have been so kind and warm towards me. I've received so much love that it continues to blow my mind, honestly. And so I would really recommend this program to anybody, even if you have zero Japanese proficiency. Once you are willing to take on an adventure, once you are willing to interact with the local Japanese people and really connect with the culture, I would highly recommend this program. And so I would like to thank the Japanese Embassy, the JET alumni, and anyone who was influential in allowing me to be in Japan and have this amazing, rewarding experience. So thank you, and yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
Hey everyone, I am Shivani Ramsavag and I am the JET in Okinawa Prefecture, and in this very short video I would like to chat with you about a few things. So I've recently started my second year on the JET program, and I will just give you a very short description of what my first year was like. And I must admit, my first year, it was amazing. It was the most fantastic experience I've ever had, and I've had so many cool adventures that I've never done before, things that I've never experienced. I've grown a lot actually. I've grown to become more responsible, more adult, you know. A lot of things here open my mind. I've started to see things from different perspectives and new perspectives, and just experiencing a whole new culture is very interesting, and I'm quite grateful for this experience. So I would also like to mention my driving force for coming on the JET program is actually my passion for the Japanese culture, Japanese people, Japanese lifestyle, Japanese food. It's just amazing, and I felt like this would be an amazing experience to have all of those experiences in one experience. And so far it has been amazing. I've experienced all of those things, and for me it's a little bit unique because Okinawa Prefecture is slightly different. Some of the cultural practices are different to what they would do in mainland Japan, so yet again my experience is very, very, very different and very similar at the same time. And I assume all of the other jets would have had very unique, fulfilling experiences. So I would like to really give thanks to the JET alumni, the Japanese Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago, and the CLL, the Japanese teachers in CLL. You all were really the driving forces in encouraging me to apply to the JET program, and it's amazing the job that you guys do in encouraging people who are already interested to apply for the JET program. Like, I was always interested in the Japanese culture and Japanese people, Japanese life, and now when I got the encouragement from you guys, that really was my driving force. And I would like to give thanks to you guys. I would like to shout out and say hello, and I would just like to invite you guys to visit me if at any point you would like to come to Japan. Okinawa Prefecture is open, and I will willingly welcome you guys here. And that brings me to the end of my video. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, I'm Alan Wooding, and I was a JET from 2005 to 2010 in Nagasaki Prefecture. Now I live in Tokyo, and I run a small outdoor gym as well as coaching high school students in an international school. So while I was at UE, I started the CLL Japanese language program, and through that program I found out from the embassy that there was a opportunity to teach English in Japanese public schools, the JET program, and because I had been interested in Japan for so long, like watching Japan video topics on TV almost every day with my sister, and then just reading about different books about the culture and stuff, that's how I ended up deciding to apply for the program. And now, 15 years later, I'm still in Japan. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly like how I changed, or what I really gained from here, my 5 years on the JET program. But what I could say is that I definitely grew a lot. There are so many experiences, so many amazing people, so many opportunities that were given to me from being on JET, and just the international scope of the program, and just everything that is possible, and the things that you could do from being an ambassador for your country and your culture in somewhere that's so different. It was just amazing. I think I learned a lot of humility, quite a little bit of patience, and generally I think I have matured to the point where I have a lot more to share with both Japan and Trinidad and Tobago as well. So a year after I joined the JET program, I started a welcome event in Tokyo to welcome the new JET participants from Trinidad and Tobago Japanese Embassy to Japan, and just help them have a support network of other Trinidadians and other Tobagonians and small island nationals, so that they knew they would have someone who would understand their culture when things got a little rough, or just that they had friends here that they could relate to. And yeah, I've been running that from 2006 till now, and I really enjoy doing it, mainly because we don't have any diplomatic mission here in Japan, and I kind of feel responsible for, after being here for so long, I feel responsible to really give these people the opportunity that I didn't have when I got here, which is to have someone welcome you to a new and exciting culture, and help you navigate that. So yeah, that's why I started the welcome event, and I hope that it would continue even after I've left. All in all, I just want to thank everyone at the Japanese Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago, although most of the people who are there now were not there when I actually applied. But I'd still like to thank the Japanese Embassy for giving me and all Trinidadians, really, all Trinidadians and Tobagonians, the opportunity to experience this amazing culture, and really form a bridge between two completely different worlds. I'm grateful, and I hope that so many others would have this opportunity, and hopefully we can get an even tighter connection between the two countries sooner than later. Yeah, and I hope that you are able to share everything that you learned from your experience in Japan back with those at home and to the world, really, and just show how beautiful these two cultures, Japan and Trinidad and Tobago, are. So good luck to everyone, and hope to see you in Japan someday.
At this time, I would like to welcome Ambassador Hirayama to present the commendation to the JET Alumni Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and invite the President, Mr. Innes, to receive and give his remarks at the center, at the front.
Well, as I said, that to recognize outstanding contribution, cooperation, devotion of the JET Alumni Association of Trinidad and Tobago, I'd like to present my commendation as a small token of our embassy's deep appreciation. So first I'll read the certification in Japanese. 表彰状トリニダード・トバゴジェット同窓会との貴殿は我が国とトリニダード・トバゴとの相互理解及び友好親善に寄与し、その功績顕著なるものがあります。ここに新人なる敬意を表するとともに表彰します。令和元年10月4日、在トリニダード・トバゴ日本国大使平山達夫。In English translation, certification of commendation. The Ambassador of Japan to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago extends his deepest regards to the JET Program Alumni Association of Trinidad and Tobago in recognition of its distinguished service in promoting mutual understanding and friendship between Japan and Trinidad and Tobago. Awarded on October 4th, 2019, Tatsuo Hirayama, Ambassador of Japan to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It was a bit difficult trying to come up with a speech after everyone had spoken, because I would have to pretty much guess what they would say. But knowing Paul, Zainab, I had a pretty good idea, and they did well. Thank you. I don't have to say what you said anymore, because you saved me some talking time. You were quite right in the amount of stories this room probably has from Japan. Trying to give all of that, we would probably be here for a few weeks. Yeah? Before I start, cheers to Alan, right?
Yeah.
I think almost everyone that has been there has seen Alan and appreciated what he has done. There's only been 1 year he did not have that event, and that's because he was in Trinidad at the time. Yeah. So, good evening again. I'll fill in the bits that they left out, yeah? This evening is a one of celebration. We celebrate the return of our colleagues from the JET program, and I'm very pleased to hear that they, as well as those currently on the program, are having meaningful and positive experiences. Tonight we also celebrate 15 years that Trinidad and Tobago has been a participant nation on the program. It's also a personal cause for celebration that all of you are gathered here this evening. Following our induction into the International Alumni Association in 2016, our local committee has done its best in promoting the JET program and Japanese culture in Trinidad and Tobago. The Embassy of Japan in Trinidad and Tobago has been including us in a more official capacity where it concerns JET and Japanese cultural events. We are eternally grateful for this and humbled by the inclusion and acknowledgement of the embassy. I do hope my colleagues here today will be inspired and join us in our future endeavors to do more. The idea for the Alumni Association was suggested by Jensen Dukising, a fellow JET who back in 2008 traveled with me to Japan. He thought, just as we had created the Caribbean JETs online forum to support each other, we should do the same for those who had returned. He got the process started by contacting Claire. For those of you who don't know, Claire is the organization responsible for managing the JET program. He then had to leave the country, so he placed the rest in my care. I think that's one of the reasons why I have such a keen interest in it succeeding. The committee takes particular joy in assisting prospective JET applicants. We get nostalgic and excited every time we see those new JETs get their acceptance letters and prepare for their journey. We are especially proud of our annual JET program pre-departure orientation session. It offers useful information about the preparation process, journey, and integration that lies ahead for the applicants. We try to keep our data current and improve each year. And with the support of Claire, the Embassy of Japan in Trinidad and Tobago, the Alumni Association International, I believe we do. Early next year, We intend to host a couple events, and we hope you can join and support. We shall keep you informed. My second half is basically thank yous. I love my time in Japan. The opportunities, the experiences gained were priceless. I believe in helping others and paying it forward. And because of this, we will continue to help those who come after us while we keep the love for our second home alive. In closing, I would like to make some acknowledgements and give thanks. One should not forget those who were with you from the beginning. And so the first and very special thank you must go to the Center for Language Learning, UWI. In particular, Dr. Beverly Ann Carter and Vanessa Williams for their unwavering support, cooperation, and assistance. You have our best wishes and thanks. I want to say a special thank you to my godfather, who's not here this evening, but who from halfway around the world donated the farewell gift I wanted for my school. My father, who shipped it for me, and my students in school, who made me proud by putting it to use. Please take a look. Keeping in mind, they were self-taught. I basically gave them the pen, the notes, and that was it. Yeah? Next, Ms. Saunders Motley. We thank you and your team at the Language and Innovation Center for your trust in us to support and collaborate with you for the Japan Week you hosted. Ms. Julian of UWI Roytech, who accommodated us last week at the Roytech campus to promote the JET program. And for this, we offer our sincerest gratitude. I hope it will be the first of many visits, and our organization can form a lasting relationship, as we have with others present here this evening. Special mention to Ms. Misato Noto and JET alumni member Radhika Supnarang for their continuous support. They have volunteered at most, if not all, of our events and given much of their time for the cause. Misato, Radhika, your efforts were and are very much appreciated. To the committee, my committee, Vice President Ms. Anastasia Ramjag, also known as my right hand, Mr. Paul Haddon, Ms. Sophia Francis, Satellite Committee member Munifa Blondell, and our unofficial ambassador, Alan Wooding. You have all gone above and beyond to make this work. A simple thank you won't do, but know that having you as teammates has made this doable and enjoyable, and I'm glad to have you all. For your support, input, advice, and trust, you have my deepest gratitude. To His Excellency, I want you to know that it meant so much to us that you visited us at our JET open forum last week. I think the audience appreciated it as well. Your interest in JET and the alumni has given me and the committee renewed energy and hope in what we do. And we want you to know how much we appreciate you for it. Finally, for this lovely evening, for your gracious hospitality, for your interest and support, for everything. continue arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.